We start the day's other headlines with an unfolding situation in Bolivia, where the president says the country is facing an attempted coup. Armored vehicles have rammed the doors of the government palace in the city of La Paz. Tanks could be seen entering the city's main square, and armed military police with riot shields marched the streets. President Luis Arce took to social media, posting a video of himself flanked by his ministers to call for, in his words, democracy to be respected. Bolivia has seen increasing protests in recent months over the nation's recent economic decline. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said today there's been significant progress in addressing the issue of U.S. weapons supplies to Israel. His comments came as he wrapped up a visit to Washington. Last week, Israel's prime minister frustrated allies after saying the Biden administration had been withholding arms shipments for months. U.S. officials said they'd only held back one shipment. Netanyahu also said he was committed to a U.S.-backed ceasefire deal after giving mixed messages about his stance. And today, Gallant affirmed that Israel fully supports it.
We stand firmly behind the president's deal, which Israel has accepted, and now Hamas must accept or bear the consequences. We are committed to bringing the hostages home, with no exception.
On the ground in northern Gaza, ambulances arrived today at the site of an Israeli airstrike on the Jabalia refugee camp. A hospital official says at least 13 people were killed in the attack. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is back in his home country of Australia. He arrived hours after pleading guilty to obtaining and publishing U.S. military secrets. Assange embraced his wife Stella, who had long fought for his release. His return closes out a 14-year legal battle, which included 5 years in a British prison. The White House said today it was not involved in the deal that led to his release. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court sided with the Biden administration over its ability to communicate with social media platforms. In a 6-3 ruling, the justices rejected a challenge from 2 Republican states that would have prevented officials from contacting companies to remove posts seen to contain misinformation. The White House welcomed the ruling, saying it helps the Biden administration continue our important work with technology companies to protect the safety and security of the American people. Devastation across the Midwest and Central Plains has come into clearer focus tonight as floodwaters start to recede. The flood left behind collapsed streets and houses washed clear off their foundations. A house that we showed you yesterday, teetering on the edge of an eroding riverbank in Minnesota, fell into the rushing river overnight. The family had been evacuated beforehand. Parts of Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, and Minnesota have been swamped by torrential rain. Up to 18 inches of rain fell in some areas. Hundreds of people were rescued, and at least 2 people died after driving in flooded areas. Kenya's president said today he will not sign a controversial finance bill after protesters stormed the country's parliament yesterday. A human rights group says at least 22 people were killed in the violence. Today, soldiers and police patrolled the streets of Nairobi as workers cleaned up debris left behind. The unrest started as lawmakers passed a bill that would have raised taxes to pay off the country's debt. Critics argued it would have added further pain to Kenyans already living in poverty. In a televised address, President William Ruto acknowledged that the bill caused, quote, widespread dissatisfaction, and he called for national unity.
And I am therefore proposing that because we have gotten rid of the Finance Bill 2024, it is necessary for us to have a conversation as a nation going forward.
The White House has condemned the violence and urged the Kenyan government today to, quote, respect the rights of all its citizens. The Episcopal Church elected Sean Rowe as its new spiritual and executive leader today. The 49-year-old currently serves as Bishop of the Diocese of Northwestern Pennsylvania. He'll replace presiding Bishop Michael Curry, who was the first black leader in the church's 239-year history. Curry was an outspoken advocate of racial justice and LGBTQ+ equality. He rose to global prominence in 2018 when he delivered a rousing sermon at the widely televised marriage of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And Wall Street posted minimal gains today, even as Amazon's market value topped $2 trillion for the first time. The Dow Jones Industrial Average barely budged, adding just 15 points. The NASDAQ performed a little better, adding 87 points. The S&P 500 added modestly higher. Still to come on the NewsHour, President Biden pardons thousands of veterans previously convicted under the U.S. military's former ban on gay sex. A look at how immigration is shaping up to be a key issue in November's election, and a new trial finds a twice-yearly injection gives total protection from HIV infection.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.